I'm Nick Fundytus from Royal LePage Performance Realty, and you're watching The Buyer Blueprint. This is a step-by-step guide on how to buy your first home.
So step 5 is the firm purchase point of the agreement of sale. So this is the point of no return. So you've agreed to purchase the property, and it's just a matter of time now, between now and when you take possession of the property, when you get your keys. So everyone still has jobs to do at this point, and the most being you and your lawyer. As the realtor, during this phase, I'm typically making sure that everyone else has the tools and documents they need to close the purchase and that they're all communicating with each other. So here your lawyer has a number of jobs to do, most of which involve coordinating with the lender and the seller's lawyer to make sure that there are no legal obstacles, like liens that might cause a problem on closing day. Look at our resources page for more on what a lawyer does. For you, this stage probably feels quieter than the rest of the process so far. That's normal, and if it's like that, that's good. You can concentrate on the work of the actual move, such as arranging movers, utilities for the new house, and registering kids for school if you have children. Your lender will have some work to help the lawyer finalize the mortgage on your new home, but your lender can also watch rates. If the chance comes up prior to closing to secure better financing or mortgage terms, your lender can often lock you into improved rates, and that's something not everyone understands. Now, there's no set amount of time for the firm period. There's nothing in law anywhere that says that you have to close in a certain number of days. Here in our local market, it's quite normal to see a closing, a firm period that's anything from a month to about 3 months, I would say, is the most typical. A few things to note before we move on to the closing day itself. So 1, you may actually want to do a final walkthrough of the property. Here in Ottawa, what we're referring to is a visit to the property, usually less than an hour, during the last week before you get the keys. It's a chance to see the property one more time and to measure for furniture, paint samples, and generally check that the house is in a similar condition to what you purchased. Keep in mind that there's going to be some closing costs, such as legal fees, land transfer, and depending on where you live and things like taxes and paying the seller balance of any prepaid things like tax or utilities. For a more detailed description on closing costs, just see my resource page. Now, it's less likely at this stage, but you can have last-minute issues that still come up. Your realtor and your lawyer are super important here. Firstly, we try to anticipate any potential issue before it actually becomes a problem. Secondly, there's nothing that we can't solve. So we make sure that we have the tools to deal with anything that may come up. We said this during the conditional period, but it's the same during the firm period as well. So just to review, the lawyer is going to be doing a title search and executing the transfer of the ownership. My job is to just quarterback everybody to make sure there's a smooth closing. You're preparing for the move itself, and your lender is monitoring rates. So there's no turning back now. Everybody's got a job to do. And what I referred to is final walkthrough. Here in Ottawa, you don't automatically get a final walkthrough. You have to negotiate it into the offer itself. Closing costs, a good rule of thumb is 1% to 1.5% of the purchase price of the home. Typically ends up being about what your closing costs will be. And then just make sure you know what kind of costs can come up. And then that is the firm period.
Thanks for watching that video. To see the other steps in the series of The Buyer Blueprint, simply go to nickfundytus.ca and look at our resources page.